is all about presentation of selected innovative ideas. Now I request Honorable Chief Minister of Punjab, Mr. Shahbaz Sharif, to come and deliver his speech.
Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. It's really a great honor as well as an opportunity to be here this afternoon, not only to listen to some very fine ideas and achievements made by various branches of government of Punjab, but I think more than that, more importantly, it is to listen to your valuable comments and recommendations as to how to improve upon this level of governance and delivery in the province of Punjab. So kindly make no mistake about this fact, and please don't misconstrue that we are not here to showcase our achievements alone, but more than that, I think it's important for us to seek your advice, your expertise as to how to ensure that these initiatives become sustainable regardless of vagaries of weather or changes in political dispensation. Pro-public and pro-country programs continue without any hindrance. I think this is probably the sum total of this forum's debate and discussion, and in that I would like to contribute a few things without indulging into any kind of repetition. And while I say this, again, I should not be mistaken, because I'm not indulging into any kind of point scoring, but just to let you know how we started, what we inherited, and where we are, what are our pluses and minuses, and how do we intend to really improve upon this present state of affair. I will not indulge into any lengthy, long-winded discussion, but a few points to make my point very clear. In 2008, when we took over the reins of the government here in Punjab, I visited a project which is known as Lahore-Kasoor Road. It was a project with a portfolio of ₹5 billion, sanctioned in 2005 and was to be completed in 2007. I mean, in fact, before the elections. And my first visit to this project was nightmarish. It was all a shambles. There was no construction worth the name, and funds to the tune of billions had been siphoned off. And I'm using the word siphoned off. For example, ordinary down payments, or what they say in official jargon, mobilization account, mobilization advance, sorry. That was, of course, taken away against fake, guarantees, or not bank guarantees, I think some insurance company guarantees. And then certain portion of that project was never even touched, but payments had been withdrawn as if this work was complete. And I gather That was my understanding, that funds were then sent away to safe havens. And the project meant for public welfare was like a desert, and no assurance in sight when this will be completed. I had to visit this place at least 5 times in the following 2 years, and I had to change contractors, arrest some of them, suspend some government officials, and only then we could complete this project, which today, Alhamdulillah, then was an icon of corruption. Today it is a minute of public welfare. So, from the ashes of corruption, we converted this into, I think, a glorious example of honesty of purpose, hard work, and untiring efforts. Now, this was not possible, single-handedly. I mean, it had to be, like always, anywhere in the world, through collective wisdom and collective effort and collective desire. And the most important thing was that the culture of apathy, the culture of corruption and collusion, the culture of indifference, and the culture of thickening pockets at the cost of public suffering had to be changed with a big push. And 4 years down the line, as I speak, me, myself, my team, both political and bureaucratic, are still, striving to move in that direction. We are facing muddy waves of life. We are facing, the strong, unholy alliance of mafia, which is always very, very strong in societies where institutions have caved in, where there is no accountability. For example, again, and please, as I said, in my opening gambit, that I should not be misconstrued. I'm not here to speak for myself. I'm just trying to highlight our efforts, our humble efforts, and of course we have made mistakes. Of course we must have gone wrong, but our intent was Alhamdulillah correct, in the right direction, and only angels don't make mistake. If you are a human being, you make mistake, but the important thing is that you learn from your mistakes and try to improve. That's how this world moves on and makes advancements. In 1998, during our first stint as the servants of this province, I had then introduced third-party audit of valuable projects, whether infrastructure or social sector or a health department, of course, above an amount which could be determined in a proper manner, which could be accounted in a proper manner and make palpable difference. So this third-party independent audit was introduced back in 1998 by our government. And to my horror, when we returned and God returned us back to serve the people, that system had been buried under heaps of corruption since long. And it was so difficult for us to, again reintroduce that system here in Punjab. And in the last 4 years, we have been trying our best. And if you ask me, Shahbaz Sharif, is that independent audit system in place all over Punjab? My answer would be no. Because in the far-flung areas of Punjab, still somebody would be trying to hoodwink, somebody trying to siphon off funds, or trying to make low-quality, project for the people, and the long arms of the government obviously not able to reach out to every nook and corner of Punjab. But I can say this safely, without any fear of contradiction, that yes, we are managing it, it is improving, and it is really giving dividends. I'll tell you another example, or a couple of examples, and then we'll come to, I think, the final part of my submission. And that is another facet of how societies either deteriorate or have a sort of a quantum jump and move forward. There is a project, and here under the nose of the government, here in Lahore, it is known by Babe Pakistan, a project which today, in today's I think rupee term, probably 4 billion rupees, 4 billion rupees, and as I speak, it is still under completion. It started from 2004 or 2005. I'm not going to go into the reason for its delay. That will take a lot of time, and also maybe touch upon some I think sensitive areas. But suffice it to say that one of the components, ladies and gentlemen, of this project included white marble from Italy. Now, Babe Pakistan, as you know, all of you know, I don't have to refresh your memory, or all, I think, scholars and historians, a place where during millions of people came to this part of subcontinent after great sacrifices. They stayed at Babe Pakistan for a while, camped there, food and shelter was offered to them back in 1947-48, and therefore, rightly, for right purposes, I think this was a very historical point, had to be, I think, brought up so that our future generations can always remember how Pakistan was carved out of India, and millions of people had to cross rivers of blood, and only then, through great pains and sacrifices, Pakistan came to being. Alas, that's 64 years down the line. I think the dream of Quaid-e-Azam and Allama Iqbal has still to be fulfilled, and I think we are hundreds of miles away, if not thousands of miles away. But that's a different story. White marble, and this component was budgeted at an amount of 90 crore rupees. 90 crore, 900 million rupees. And I asked, one of my first questions was that why do we have to import white marble? Because ये जो मीनार है, इस मीनार के ऊपर ये बड़ा ऊंचा है, तो हमें इसके ऊपर लगाना है और दिखाना है लोगों को कि किस तरह इस जगह पर पड़ाव पड़े और किस तरह लोग आए यहाँ पर. मैंने कहा कि will this white marble, which will cost this nation 900 million rupees, will this reflect the prosperity of the people of Pakistan? Will this reflect that we are bridging the gap between the have and have-nots? Will this reflect that education is all for all children of this country? Will this reflect that poverty and unemployment is being handled effectively? Will this reflect that Pakistan was carved out of India, and today rule of law is the currency of the day? I said, who are we trying to befool? And we are wasting this huge amount of money, and that too in foreign exchange. Foreign exchange in dollars or Italian liras, whatever. And allowing a widower or a patient of cancer or a student, denying his right or her right to get due care in a hospital, or getting admission in a school, or getting a job in a factory, and so on and so forth. And ladies and gentlemen, I am trying to drag on this issue just to tell you there was fierce opposition, and there was a consultant appointed by the then dictator, General Qayyum's former friend. He said, no, Chief Minister, this is a must, otherwise this program will be all ugly and this will not reflect the ambitions of the people, and so on and so forth. I had to hold 2 meetings. I had to put my foot down, and they came back, pouncing back. No, this is not possible. And finally, we settled for a Pakistani version of a tile available in the northern part of Pakistan at a cost of 30 crore rupees. This is what I think this seminar is all about. It's about our attitudes, about our approaches, about our concern for this country, about how to manage things like our own outfits. If Captain Arif is Secretary Health, if I am the chief or the servant of this province, I must run this province as my own household. I mean, that is to say that will my budget allow this thing or not? Will I be able to get the most productive use of this investment or not? Will there be any waste element in this or not? Will this be completed on time or not? And if we don't do this, whether it's a clerk or a prime minister or a president or a general or a judge or a bureaucrat or a politician, then I think we'll be unfair to ourselves, less than fair to ourselves and to the nation. And I think this is what I think is required to be discussed and debated today in these subgroups. And I will certainly encourage and request all government officials sitting here today that they should participate in these group discussions so that we are able to get best recommendation from you, because I know very expert people sitting here, and some of the faces I'm very familiar to, that they will be, and I'm sure they will be able to contribute immensely, that whether it is a health program you've seen, or education program, or PEEP or PEF, whatever. People at times, criticize the Chief Minister, why have you invested so much on Danish schools? They are very expensive solution to poor people, or the sins of poorest of poor. I think before asking this question, they must have self-introspection. That why did they allow these extension of this country over the last 64 years, grammar schools. Now, this is no argument that this is in private sector, and people who can afford to get the best education at $10,000 a month or 20,000 rupees a month, that's their business. It is not their business. It is the business of the state to provide equal, efficient, good quality education to every citizen of this country. And this differentiation between private sector and public sector is a hoax. It's a misnomer. Because after all, these are the resources of the land. I don't want to go into a different debate of a regimented society in China, where they regulate everything and everything is nationalized, and they offer equal medical opportunities and health opportunities and education opportunities to everybody in China. That is a different debate. But I think suffice it to say that it is the responsibility and primary responsibility of any state to provide good, equal, proper health and education opportunities to all in country. So therefore this debate is not relevant at all. And even if for the sake of argument, then these, how do you call it, these academies, raised by federal government, those institutions, cadet colleges. Every cadet college today costs no less than 40 crore rupees, 50 crore rupees. And then there is no criteria for admission over there. Talent is not the only criteria. I know it personally. All of you know it very well. But Danish School does have a very specific criteria. It is meant for the most brainy children of this country who roam about dusty streets of their far-flung areas and have nothing in their hand to be busy about. And we deny them even most ordinary education. Don't they have the heart and the urge and the desire and the dream to go to Exton College or to another private grammar school just because their parents, who are as committed Pakistani as any other Pakistani, as progressive Pakistani as any other Pakistani, just because they don't have financial resources, legal or illegal, that they can't go to a proper school? I think this is where Pakistan has gone wrong. And this is where, at least in my judgment, faulty or otherwise, we have tried to correct this faltering system, which is creating tears of social uneven and unbalanced society. And unless we, correct this fast, defaulting society, we will never be able to achieve our goals. So I think Danish School is one, paradigm shift. And again, these have been built in areas, ladies and gentlemen, which harbor, there's no training over there, active training is not there, I can guarantee you. But it does harbor, it does have elements which originate from those areas, militants. And Danish School in these areas, I have no doubt in my mind, I am as convinced and as sure as life and death that these scholars from Danish School, coming from, the most poorest background you can even ever imagine of, that they cannot, decipher between black and white. They don't know कि सफाई का क्या मतलब है, कि दांत साफ करनी चाहिए नहीं करनी चाहिए, कपड़े उजले पहनने चाहिए नहीं पहनने चाहिए. The whole life is meaningless to them, and they just roam around in circles, and then one day are easy prey in the hands of these terrorist outfits, and then they are given all kind of nutty lessons that go and kill so and so, and you will be having a first class ticket and to meet Allah Almighty, and this and that. And imagine that those who kill innocent people, वो भी ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह का अपना व्रत करते हैं, और जो मरते हैं शहीद होते हैं वो भी ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह का व्रत करते हैं. Look at this irony of fate. And I think if we do not correct this fast deteriorating situation, Pakistan, God forbid, and I hope and pray to God that I will always be proven wrong, will become one of those marshy lands in South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, this country has great potential. It has great talent. It has great minds. Some of the brilliant minds are sitting in front of me. Resources, natural resources, and whatnot. And yet, we are always looking forward to doles and handouts. And I again must not be mistaken. I have always welcomed supportive, friendly foreign aid. And I think if it is given to us as a gift, with respect and honor, at least I personally will be very thankful to our donors, because they are very caring. They show concern for Pakistan, for our people, in education, in health. And that is where I think we should be deeply, eternally grateful to them. But does that mean that this should continue forever? Even those nations who have now an upper hand, I think 100 years ago, they were having a lower hand. And now they have, I think, changed their own role. Even in this part of the world, where we come from, where we live, I think they have transformed their own societies and have changed their roles from a beggar to a chooser. And we remain, as I speak, a beggar. This is not the kind of life I think we should be aiming at. And it is difficult but not impossible to change this lifestyle. But it can only happen by not importing these white marbles for Babe Pakistan, by not allowing these criminal delays on Lahore Kasoor Road, by not allowing to siphon off these funds in the name of what we call advance payment or whatever, and cheating and trying to hoodwink each other, by not allowing kind of despondency, by shunning, I think, this habit of asking for help. We go to capitals and beg and borrow where loans are not available, and we go to capitals and ask for loans where aids and handouts are not available. And this is Qaid's Pakistan, this is Iqbal's Pakistan. I think we should be ashamed of ourselves. And it's a moment to stop and have a pause, have a very critical introspection, accountability of ourselves, and then have a collective system of accountability. Only then can we move forward. I would, in the end, like to request you and appeal to your good sense and to your imagination and to your judgment that let us, through this forum, raise demands, raise recommendations, generate recommendations which will not only guide us and help us in improving upon our initiatives which we have taken in the last 4 years, but in times to come, if we are returned to power by our people, God willing, we are able to serve better. For example, Punjab Skills Development Program, who is now headed by a great head, Dr. Ejaz Nabi, sitting in front of me. And I am very grateful to him for accepting this request of mine to take over ever since my great friend, former CEO of Engro, reluctantly, resigned. I think I have no doubts that he will, inshallah, not only match his wonderful work, but certainly build on that. Now, this program, ladies and gentlemen, was designed between Government of Punjab and British government DFID. And this is very important what Dr. Amjad Saqib mentioned a while ago, that Punjab Education Endowment Fund, which now has in its kitty 10 billion rupees. In dollar terms, it would be almost $100 million. When was the last time, tell me honestly, put your hand on your heart, when was the last time in Pakistan's history, not only here in Punjab, but all the 4 nook and corners of Pakistan, that such a program was designed to bridge the gap between our segments of society which could afford the best of education and overwhelming majority which has not only very low quality of education, but at times nothing at all. And these teeming millions, hapless segment of our population, if they are not honed, their capacities and their skills are not honed, and they're not brought forward, then I think Pakistan is going nowhere. Can a tiny fraction of our population take Pakistan forward unless it is a collective effort of the entire nation? So I think this is how we carved out Punjab Education Endowment Fund. And as Dr. Amjad Saqib said, that 30,000 students, both boys and girls, all over Punjab are being financed by this program out of its income, which is now almost touching 1 billion rupees. Now imagine those white marble. I wish this 1 billion rupees of that white marble should have been sitting in Punjab Education Endowment Fund kitty. You could have probably increased the number by another 5,000 or 10,000. That's where we have failed, because there has been no accountability, and whimsical actions on personal desires and glorification destroyed and ate into our vitals. Now, I was talking about this skills development program, which has been designed between Government of Punjab and British Department of International Development. It's a great program, and I'm extremely grateful to British government, British people, because this is, after all, their taxpayers' money, and it is equally matched by the Government of Punjab in terms of 50% our equity and 50% DFID's very benign help. There is no political conditionality. That's very important. And this is meant for honing the skills of unemployed youth down south in Punjab. And thousands of boys and girls are now being taught by renowned companies in this country in different trades. Some are becoming wonderful cooks. Some are becoming wonderful masons, carpenters, plumbers, IT, experts, and blue pottery work in Multan, and so on and so forth. And this is how can we convert this great challenge of our population, because 60% of our population is very youthful population, into a great opportunity through such programs. And that's why Secretary of Education was absolutely, I think, on the dot, that this year or last year we have inducted 30,000 teachers, all science teachers, because the world is all about science and technology and reforms and development. Of course, arts is very important, humanity is very important. I am not trying to underestimate the importance of those starters of our educational programs, but the world is all about science, IT-led digital knowledge. And look how these drones come and kill our innocent people in this country. And then we are a few crumbs are thrown at our side with disdain and indifference, that take these crumbs and will kill more people of yours unless you come to our terms. This is where I really agitate, that we can do it ourselves. I mean, we have to give up such kind of help, such kind of aid, which ultimately kills not only our innocent people, but dishonors us. And I think the way forward is that we have to stand on our feet by developing our skills, empowering our youth with all this skillful arts, and then have them employed in available capacity within Pakistan, in industry, in agriculture, in commerce, in trade, in banking world, and then export them to Middle East, where if they are skilled labor, they will earn double than what they are remitting back to Pakistan today. And as you know, our economy is barely surviving on our remittances, and the government of Pakistan has no contribution in that at all, because the increase in the inflow of these remittances is not because any attractive policy per se. Had that been the case, we wouldn't have been in dark ages today. 4 years down the line, and look at our power outages, is killing our economy. It's because those friends and brothers and sisters feel that the most safe place to send their hard-earned money is Pakistan. And luckily, I think it's a sheer coincidence that our economy is surviving on that. Will this remain a permanent feature? The answer is a big no. So the way forward is skills, the way forward is industry, the way forward is agriculture, the way forward is export, but it all stems from proper high quality education. And finally, I'd like to say that it's 4.5 years. I think this government or any government in this country has 6 to 8 months left, with them under constitutional terms of serving the people. Except Punjab, we have probably a month and a half more, because you all remember, for one reason or the other, Punjab Assembly was not allowed to meet until April 2008. Those designs were not met, and then finally Punjab Assembly had to meet. So probably we'll be the longest serving government out of other governments in this country, but depending how the situation is. But I think the answer to our ills and our problems and our worries and our problems is, I think, early elections, free and fair early elections. And out of that, whosoever is thrown up by the people of Pakistan to a very transparent, ballot
process, the nation must then accept that mandate, and then we should move forward. This will be by itself a great contribution to serve democracy. I think democracy got a big hit in the last 4 years, not because democracy itself had any problems, because those drivers were deeply flawed. They were not trained, and they didn't have the license to drive this vehicle of democracy safely, efficiently, and speedily. Allah be with you. Thank you very much. Pakistan Zindabad.